Hello everyone, and welcome to the Ultimate WoW Guide! Okay, so recently I've run into a few people who are like, I used to play World of Warcraft, but now I don't get it anymore. Or, I want to be great at WoW, but I don't have the time to watch a million videos and spend actual months of time learning and grinding every tiny nuance. One guy even offered me a ton of gold to teach him how to play. So, here's the deal. I'm gonna make 3 really big videos. The first one,
the one that you're watching right now,
is all about the lore leading up to World of Warcraft. You may think that this video has little to no purpose, but actually World of Warcraft is an MMORPG, a massively multiplayer online role-playing game. And as a role-playing game, it is very heavily story-based, meaning that the quests, the dungeons, the raids, just about everything hinges on a long and detailed story plot, most of which takes place before the game even begins. Now there is a ton of lore.
Around 25,000 years worth to be exact.
With multiple games, books, comics, and even a friggin' movie. So, obviously, unless I want this video to be about 3 hours long, we can't cover everything. So instead, this is just the need-to-know basics. If you find some stuff mentioned here interesting, feel free to look it up yourself. Now then, in the beginning! Basically, we start with the Titans, super gods that create stuff. They want to create a planet, but they've never made a planet before. So, they make a whole bunch of beta plans and use their best stuff to put together the first planet, Azeroth. All the beta stuff gets mushed together and is remade into an ethereal bubble around Azeroth, which becomes the Emerald Dream.
Important for druids and stuff.
The Titans, super happy with their success, leave to make a ton more planets. Then the Old Gods came from beyond the void! The Old Gods want to corrupt the planets and the servants the Titans left behind. So they did. 4 Old Gods, Cthulhu, Yogg-Saron, Y'Shaarj, and N'Zoth, took Azeroth for their own and plagued the planet. This is what's known as the Age of the Black Empire.
There's actually a bunch more Old Gods, but don't worry about it.
When the Titans caught wind of this, they turn around and return to Azeroth to beat the crap out of the Old Gods. During the war, the Old Gods created the Elemental Lords to fight the Titans' armies while they fought the Titans. Around this time, Yogg-Saron also inflicted many of the Titan servants with the Curse of Flesh, which turned their metallic bodies into flesh and drove them insane.
Over the next 12,000 years, they would slowly become humans, dwarves, and gnomes, and then forget their heritage until World of Warcraft.
The Titans killed Y'Shaarj, but in doing so learned that the Old Gods were so infused with the planet that killing them all would actually destroy Azeroth,
along with all of their planet templates and blueprints.
So they imprisoned the others as well as the Elemental Lords. After the war, the Titans took a powerful proto-dragon, turned him into a bunch of dragon aspects, gave them superpowers, and charged them with defending the planet while they went off to do other stuff.
One of them turns evil.
Then Sargeras, the Titan jailer of demons, gets corrupted by the Nathrezim and becomes Warcraft Satan.
Turns out one of them also turned evil. This might be a running theme.
The other Titans went off into the great beyond to make more planets, and we never see them again. Sargeras goes to Argus, and turns the native people into Eredar, including 2 of the world's leaders, Kil'jaeden and Archimonde. The 3rd leader, Prophet Velen, along with a ton of other natives, get on a spaceship and crash on Draenor.
Bonus, it is Velen who names the planet Draenor, meaning exile, and call his people Draenei, or the Exiled Ones.
Also, orcs are there, but whatever, it doesn't mean anything yet. They just kill each other randomly. Meanwhile, back on Azeroth, trolls are the first natives of Azeroth, make a ton of empires, and fight both Titan creations and Old God slaves for land, taking over most of the planet. 6,000 years later, most of the empires have fought themselves to death, and their empire is replaced with the Night Elf Empire. Night Elves basically come in 3 flavors.
Eventually 4.
Tree huggers, devout priestesses to the moonlight, and arcane technomancers.
And half-demons. Spoilers for later.
Okay. Take a breath. Get a soda. We're done with the first big lore chunk. How are you feeling? because we're still 10,000 years off of World of Warcraft. Take a pee break, because this next bit might take a while. Okay, so
10,000 years ago, my city was radiant. The jewel of the Night Elf Empire.
the Night Elf Empire has Highborn and Lowborn. While the Lowborn are learning to be druids from elemental spirits turned benevolent demigods, the Highborn are recklessly experimenting with arcane magic, sucking out power from the Well of Eternity, a giant pool of pure magic with a near-endless supply of power. Sargeras notices all this magic being flung around and is like,
I'm super not evil. Summon me to your world and I'll give you godlike powers.
because he's on the other end of the universe and it would take him like a bajillion years to get there. The Queen of the Night Elves, Ashara, is like, yeah, that makes sense, let's do that. So Sargeras corrupts the Queen helps Sargeras corrupt a bunch of Highborn, and war breaks out.
Our people prospered for centuries, until the Legion came. Entranced by the power they offered, our Queen betrayed us to the ruin of the world.
So, there's this dungeon in the Caverns of Time where you go back in time to this point, and some druid spoilers, this war is generally kind of important to you guys lore-wise. Just saying, it's really cool.
In the end, Sargeras loses, the Well of Eternity explodes, and the Pangaea that was Azeroth becomes what it looks like today. Oh, the corrupted Highborn either become satyrs and join the Legion, or become Naga and sync with their queen. The uncorrupt Highborn are banished and move to the northern eastern kingdoms, becoming High Elves, worshipping a new magic pool, the Sunwell. The Lowborn become the Night Elves we know today, move to Hyjal and make Nordrassil, the World Tree. Okay, skip forward 9,000 years or so. A ton of stuff happens, but look, we're sticking to basics here. 254 years before World of Warcraft, a dwarven war breaks out. The Bronzebeard clan wins, and becomes the leader of the dwarves in Ironforge. The Dark Irons, unwilling to accept their loss, try to summon a giant fire elemental to destroy Ironforge, and accidentally summon Ragnaros, the elemental lord of fire. Now free from the Titan's prison in the Firelands, he enslaves the Dark Iron Dwarfs and creates Black Rock Mountain, where he plans to continue his job the old gods created him for, destroying the world! In like 300 years, maybe. First a nap. It's just too soon. Skip forward 230 years, 24 years before the World of Warcraft, and it's the setting of Warcraft 1. These are the events of the first Warcraft game, but it is also the events of the first Warcraft movie. Spoilers ahead for that. Orcs from Draenor are enslaved by the Legion and drink demon blood, turning them green, and follow Gul'dan through the Dark Portal to invade Azeroth. It's orcs versus humans! Medivh the Guardian has a shard of Sargeras' soul in him, turns out it's all his fault. Khadgar kills him, turns the area around Karazhan into Deadwind Pass. Gul'dan's invasion fails. 4 years later, the Second War, Warcraft 2. A ton of gosh diddly flubbernucking shipples. Basically, Orgrim invades Stormwind capital, but is pushed back, leaving Stormwind in ruins and needing repair. Gul'dan finds the tomb of Sargeras, but when Kil'jaeden tells him to use the power inside to open a portal for the demons, he instead tries to take all the power for himself and dies. Ner'zhul finds Gul'dan's skull and uses it to reopen the Dark Portal, then flees back to Draenor with a bunch of Deathwing's eggs. He rallies the Draenor horde, then accidentally blows Draenor up, making it Outland. Meanwhile, Blackhand Jr. rallies the horde still stuck on Azeroth and groups up at Blackrock. Orgrim is banished, finds a ton of orc internment camps, and with the help of Grom Hellscream and Thrall, an orc raised by humans, they free them all. Thrall is then named their war chief. 16 years later, 4 years before the World of Warcraft, and it's the third war, Warcraft 3.
Everyone's favorite war.
Arthas becomes a Death Knight, destroys Lordaeron and the Sunwell. Thrall leads the horde west to Kalimdor, where he allies with Tauren and Darkspear trolls. Jaina ventures to Kalimdor on the orders of the Ghost of Medivh. Arthas opens a demonic portal and Archimonde comes through. The Night Elves join forces with the Horde and Janus humans. They defeat Archimonde by burning Nordrassil. Arthas becomes the Lich King, and Illidan...
Okay, so I glossed over Illidan until now, but he's this night elf who was going to be a druid, but he was a jerk, so he became a super secret agent instead, and pretended to join the Legion back in the ancient war, but was a spy and helped the night elves win. But because he had allowed himself to be tainted with demon magic to prove his loyalty to the Legion, he was basically a half-demon now, and was considered untrustworthy and was imprisoned forever. Until now! Illidan, after gaining the power of the Skull of Gul'dan and becoming even more demonier than he already was, then trying to use the Eye of Sargeras, a powerful artifact, to kill the Lich King, And almost destroy the world at the same time, but let's not worry about that.
and failing to do so, escapes to Outland where he dethrones a Pit Lord and becomes the ruler of Outland. Okay, so, the stage is set. The Alliance is slowly piecing itself back together, the Horde is building a new home in Kalimdor, the peace treaty between the two dissolves like tissue paper, and...
The drums of war thunder once again.
And thus, World of Warcraft begins! Thank you for watching this super abridged version of the events before the World of Warcraft. And this is seriously abridged. There's like an entire library full of actual novels on this stuff. None of this is 100% accurate or super detailed, but it is enough to be getting on with. Honestly, if you pay attention in-game, you get most of this stuff through quests anyway. But skipping a few lines of dialogue could get you massively confused. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like it if you did. Share it if you think I'm worth showing off to people. Next time, we'll be getting into World of Warcraft itself with a basic how-to-play tutorial, as well as the events that actually happen in the game. See you then!